Have you ever wanted to start a game of werewolf, but you just don't know what to play as? Well, at the back of every White Wolf book, Breed book, Tribe book, you had these pre-made characters. A lot of them were pretty good ideas. Though I want to look at some of the ideas themselves just a little while longer. This one's pretty good, but some of these got my noggin jogging, and I want to share them with you. These are my favorite pre-made character from every single tribe. Not book itself. There will be some of these from second edition, some of these from first. We'll go over bit by bit. Alright, let's waste no more time, let's get into it. For the Black Furies, we have the Omega Female. I like this one. A lot. I mean, 9 out of 10 of these are feminists who start off as feminist. But this is the only one that starts off from outside that perspective. You're an Omega Female. You're at the bottom of the pecking order. There are very clear gender-defined rules when it comes to wolves. It's a male-led society. Imagine coming in with a wolf brain to modern-day feminism. That's the idea with this kind of character. You're going in, you're figuring out, well, why are some sexes worth more than others? Why does everyone get to breed and not just the alpha? You start going in with all these different questions, and of course your character won't get it, but as a Black Fury, you're expected to. This can lead to a lot of interesting conversations and drama. I like this one. Also, it's a Ragabash, so, you know, the constant Socrates, you're constantly asking questions. I like this one. From the Gnawers, we have the Frankweiler Knight. I really like this one. It's a really goofy concept, but you can go some crazy places with this. It's a character who's born in a steamer trunk during a performance of Hamlet, and he was raised in a theater, scooped up by child services, first changed, went really wrong, had to go off on his own, and now he's this homeless Phantom of the Opera type, going around from theater to theater, and as a Frankweiler, the Gnawers who defend public places, it's a really fun idea. Just imagine just all the different things your character could say, all the different plays that you could quote, how cultured, quote-unquote, you could be. And of course, this could lead to some very fun different weapon usage. I mean, think about Hop Frog with Edgar Allan Poe, and how creative you can get with some of these ideas on how to fight the worm. Next up, Children of Gaia. You have the Umbrell Traveler. First of all, guns. You don't really see Children of Gaia carrying those, so automatically I'm interested. This is a Servant of Unicorn, by the way. Not even a Patient Deed member or an Eminent Strike member. This is one of the camps that you think is going to be a pacifist, a rollover pacifist. You go around in the Umbra as his character, and you are interested in seeing every single stretch and expanse of it after having a really good experience with the Unicorn. And as somebody who's going to be in the Umbra for years and years, hopefully, you're going to need to be very well armed. So, machine guns with rubber bullets, tasers, other fun weapons. It's a really interesting character, and it gets you thinking an entire game in the Umbra. I don't see those. I've looked up other live plays. I don't see those happen, so I might want to try one of those myself one day, thanks to this character idea. With the Fianna, you have the Mule in Black, a guy with funny legs who plays country music. He never knew his dad. Mom left him to go off on a penance crusade for being a Fianna who made a menace. And this guy found solace in singing, and after hearing a country music song, realized that that was the language of his soul and decided that that was going to be his life, and managed to worm a small place for himself in the Fianna through country music. This is a character based entirely around performance, a stat I rarely, if ever, see used in a World of Darkness game, and I really like this idea. The Fianna are already the song makers and song keepers of the werewolves, so going in the country music route, there are a ton of Irish people in the South. This is a brilliant idea. You don't have to be super Irish to be a Fianna. You just need to have, a little bit of the blood in you. And, well, it's a singer. Go nuts with the idea. Next up with the Gaia Fenris, it's a unusual idea, the Harbinger of the Apocalypse. It's a wolf who realizes that the apocalypse is going to happen no matter what, and decides he's going to revel in the madness and the nihilism. Now, there is a hope that you could make a small post-apocalypse for yourself, but let's not keep our fingers crossed about this one. You're out, you're going to tip the scales the best you can in the favor of the Giru Nation, and if you die in the fight, well, so be it. You're a Philodox. You're all about the balance, but this takes it in a more militant perspective. Usually you think of the Philodox as a judge or a lawyer, but nah, I guess this works too, the Executioner. And of course, it's a Gaia Fenris. Go nuts. Bombs away. There's so much stuff you can do with the Gaia Fenris. With the Glasswalkers, you have the Urban Primitive. This is somebody who's grown up in a cairn their entire life, being a metis. You can't exactly go out in public when you look like a wolf on two legs. And in doing so, by constantly talking with spirits, they begin to realize just how beautiful machine spirits could be, and now goes around as the Robot Wizard. You go around, you speak with machine spirits, and just tell that microwave to cook that food for you, tell that computer to hack into that account for you. Just all this fun stuff you get to do with the Glasswalker. The Glasswalker Theurge can already do some very crazy stuff with their spirit hacking, I guess you could call it, and this runs with the idea. On top of that, I'm getting a whole Final Fantasy VII materia, like Magitech kind of vibe from this too. So this is already pouring tons of ideas into my brain. I really like this idea, and I might make this into an NPC later. With the red Talons, you have the Rascal Wolf. I'm very happy about the mouse being here. That mouse is your little companion with this character. And you're a wolf that never really had any success in being a wolf because you had that human brain. You're not entirely a wolf, are you? As much as the red Talons would love to deny that. And you go around and you fill that Socrates role that the Ragabash does so well. Question, question, question. And you get away with your stuff because you're the Ragabash. The Ragabash is meant to question. So you're just this little goofball where you don't really ever think about the red Talons being happy, as doom and gloom as that tribe can be. And along with that, talking to the animals, having a little mouse companion that understands that you're not going to eat it. Looking at this sheet, they have 2 points in animal kin. Red Talons really like other animals, so go nuts. You don't have to constantly kill, kill, kill with the red Talons. The Shadow Lords, the Loyal Beta. Now I like this one. The ye olden play Oedipus Rex had a character in it called Crayon, or Crayon, depending on how you say it. This is that character. You would rather be the number 2 than the number 1. You are very comfortable in your role as the Ragabash, the one constantly questioning leadership, but you don't ever want to be the leadership. And you are congratulated for your work. After all, you point out an issue, that issue gets fixed. You also come at this with a lupus brain, so very practical in terms of your thoughts. Funny, because this is a character who's fully dressed. Typically, with the lupus wolf, you just imagine being lupus form the entire time, but nope. This is a wolf that has learned how to become human, and I really like that idea. In terms of role-playing notes, well, get your scheme on. If it benefits you, if it benefits a leader that you like, do it. If it goes against a leader that you hate, do it. Just scheme. Just a really schemy kind of character. Perfect for the Shadow Lords. Gets you right into that mindset. With the Silent Shredders, the Spirit of Vengeance. First of all, the Darkman reference. I really like Sam Raimi's work. Darkman, very fun movie to watch. And yeah, this feels like that character. You're a character who looks at the world around you and you see nothing but ugliness. You are hideous yourself, but you're beautiful on the inside. Everyone else is beautiful on the outside, ugly on the inside. You're out to rectify that. You see all these different people, these Pentex executives, you leave very threatening voicemails on their phones until a week passes and you come in with your implements of justice. Be it a pistol, be it a tent spike, however you want to go about it. It really gives off this like 1990s comic book kind of character where I really liked that aesthetic in the first edition Tribebooks. And go nuts with this character. Just get your Inquisitor on. Just be a guy who's constantly looking around for evil, quoting the litany, quoting Bible verses if you wish to get a little religious with it. It's get your 90s edge on with that character. Now this one's interesting. The Silver Fangs have an Aragabash with the class Joker. You play as this prep school booger of a wolf that got bullied for years and years until you begin to realize that picking on yourself drove the bullies away. You got one arm bigger than the other, you look like this, so you might as well have a little bit of fun. I mean, you're not going to be king being a Ragabash Metis, but you can make some progress. If you can't make any progress in your own life, you can take some away from someone else. This goes a lot off of the ideas of the Shadow Lord, sure, but being a Silverfang changes the context of it. Sure, your life has been sabotaged from day one, but you're going to do everything you can to mess with the world around you, be it your other Geru or the Worm. Go nuts, you've got nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Just do whatever you want with this character. The Stargazers, the Artiste. I really like this picture, by the way. Very clean, very crisp, and just a wolf painting. Very fun idea. You are a Metis. I'm not entirely sure what the deformity is. It doesn't say, but nobody really seemed to know what to do with you. Nobody really talked to you. So you just found solace in painting away. You painted a lot of stuff that was based around balance, being a philodox that's constantly on your mind, and eventually somebody noticed your work. And by using your art, it helps you understand the world around you. You're able to make heads and tails of certain court cases within the Geru Nation through your art. You're able to learn about the world through art. You're able to come to your Stargazer conclusions with your art. After all, we know from our podcast that the Stargazers get very deep in thought, sometimes a little too deep in thought. And behold, this is a perfectly distilled Stargazer. You want to play a character that's philosophical? Go right ahead. This seems to be a perfect character for that archetype. Next up, the Corporate Troublemaker with the Uktena. This is a character who loves detective novels, detective stories, but they're a theurge, funny enough, not a philodox. And what you do with your spirits is that you talk to the spirits and help them solve cases for you. You go around as this independent investigator, mostly hired by the Geru Nation, and you just get your Sherlock Holmes on, and I really like this character idea. The investigation aspect with the Uktena. It's what I really like about the Uktena as a tribe, how they're constantly learning new information, hoarding that information. And this character, well, bombs away. You're a detective. That's your job. As for what you do, you grew up in a rough spot of town, so behold, you already have some streetwise, you already have some subterfuge. You've got a lot of stats stacked in perception, intelligence, wits, computers, investigation, enigmas, a very cerebral type of character. You don't have to fight all the time as a werewolf, and you can play this as a social game. This is a very social character. This is a very great start, and if you want to make a more talky character for your werewolf game. The Wendigo, this is the security guard. I like this one because it's very simple, actually. This could work with any character, really, but with the Wendigo, this feels special. You grew up in the First Nations, pretty cool, but you've always felt this all-room brain signal at the back of your mind telling you gotta look for conflict. You've got to look for competition. The all-room brain, that auspice, is constantly pushing you towards combat. And the best way to express your need for combat? Go into law enforcement. Of course, you can't have a police officer just beating people down the street. Well, modern-day politics aside, so you instead become a security guard. Well, you probably don't want a security guard with a all-room brain, but, you know, jokes on whoever hired you. As for what you do, well, you know about law. You know what you can get away with as an all-room. It helps to know about the law because with the all-room brain, you're eventually going to flip out on somebody and cave their face in, splatter their teeth on all over the wall. So you need to understand just how you're going to escape those consequences. As for the Wendigo, well, first of all, a Wendigo in a suit. That's very unusual for these books, because most of them are going around in treble clothes or nothing at all in Kronos and Lupus form. So a werewolf having a job on top of that, just a day job werewolf, and this could lead to an interesting conflict where we'll say that Pentex hired you. So, behold, you've already got a monkey wrencher who is invading Pentex as a security guard. Just leave those cameras off, leave that gate open, and then let your pack just have their way with that company. And there is a little tribe book that was made for the White Howlers. We have the Montress Protector. And this is a very of the White Howler time character. So, you are the monster from a monster movie. You're going around and you are what the Romans fear, what the other tribes of the British Isles fear. You are going around causing a mess wherever you go, leaving bodies in your wake. You are a monster with the brain of a human. You are very scary, and I like this. Just embracing the Alrune nature, embracing the inner beast of the werewolf, and what better tribe to do this with than with the White Howlers. The White Howlers had no chill, no restraints, and this is a perfect White Howler character. If you have a game where the White Howlers are involved at all, use this idea. This is the White Howlers tribe. And of course, if you want to use this as a black spiral, well, instead of being virtuous and righteous, just go and do what the black spirals were already doing. I mean, maybe this is why the black spirals are so violent all the time, because they're going off the brains of the White Howlers. And those are ideas. So, those are just the ones I like. Of course, I would recommend picking up the tribe books and the breed books. There's more in the breed books. You can get some ideas for Korax or Goral or Rokia from that. But these are my personal favorites. Let me know which ones you like and whether or not you used any of the ideas in the back of these books to form the basis of a character. Alright, that's enough of me talking. You can stop watching the video now.